So Mayhem kind of did an interesting thing. They dropped details of their team competition, which is actually going to be coming right on the heels of the CrossFit Games, literally the day after, the day is Sunday. It starts on Sunday of the CrossFit Games. So very interesting move. I think, if I'm reading into it a little bit, they wanted to force individual athletes to choose between going to the CrossFit Games or going to this competition. And I think that is a smart decision. What do you like and what do you don't like about this? This is a totally new format here.
I wish that I understand why it is smart to force them to choose, but I'm just a little bummed because there were some individual athletes that were kind of like messing around on super teams this past season, and it would have been really fun to see some of them come together. But I think it makes sense, given the timing, given the fact that, everyone's traveling and is going to have to self-quarantine. You want to re-expose people and all of that stuff. And also, timing for whether or not we start the Open again in October. Like, you can't punt that into the fall.
Yeah, late
or
September.
Else it's totally going to mess with everything. It's fine. It's fine. Peak of training, everyone's like gearing up. It's not a big deal. So I like and I don't like it. I'm just bummed that I'm not going to be able to see some of the individuals that could have really had a shot in both situations. Take them both on.
All right, Armen, let's talk about the format a little bit. This is a first ever seen format style. Just for those that haven't sat in there and didn't spend all day yesterday diving in like the CrossFit freaks that we are. We're looking at a 2-day per cut format. So every 2 days you're going to start. Day 1, day 2 competition. Cut teams from 12 to 8. Have a rest day, followed by 2 days of competition. Cut it again from 8 teams to 4 teams, and then the final 2 days of competition. So you're talking a whole week's worth of competition event style. Armen, what do you think about that?
I love the innovation. I love the creativity. There's something to be said about the fact that CrossFit has never particularly fostered or cared about the team competition.
Yep.
It was originally marketed as the Affiliate Cup. Very quickly that became not a thing anymore. They've planted their flag on the individual competition, and the fact that now we have someone who is very well known in the space, very well respected in the space, incredibly good at what he does, both on the competitive side as well as the event side,
brand side's amazing,
and the branding side. With Rich. Like, Rich is stepping in and essentially saying, "Hey guys, guess who's going to push the team competition to the next level?" And it's going to be him. And I really love the creativity here, right? The fact that he's using a 2 days on and 1 day off, with cuts coming on after every 2 days. The way that they're deciding which events to do, they're doing like a draft of sort of these pre-announced events that everyone's going to know what the pool is, but you won't know exactly which one you're doing when and how it's going to slot into the schedule. And on top of that, it creates a really, really interesting media story because it gives you a lot of touch points to talk about. It gives you these perspectives of saying, all right, well, let's see what decision is being made here by this team when they have the opportunity to draft an event for this day of competition, or let's see which events are going to be pushing the cuts in which directions. And you're going to have that happening multiple times over the week and multiple times over each day of competition. So really, it's a smart way of scaling something that we saw them do early on in the year at the Mayhem Classic. They created a sanctioned event that was entirely based on the opportunity of scaling onto an internet broadcast.
Yeah.
And so if they can create a storyline across all of these different touch points and scale it across onto the broadcast, I don't see any reason why they won't be, really knocking on the door of doing something much more interesting and more exciting than CrossFit has ever done with the team.
I think that the games competition at the games has kind of been a little bit stale. I've seen some innovation there. I've seen some new apparatuses in there. I liked some of the evolution when you now had to have every athlete performing things. So, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Introduction of the worm. It's a full 4 individual has to move this. You cannot do it with 3. You can't do it with 2 or out of sync. I love those things. I think that moved competition forward a lot. this is a very innovative approach. It's hard to do this at the games. If you wanted to do this at the CrossFit Games, I don't think you could do it. And so I think their format at Mayhem could never have been adopted at the games, because the games is playing individuals, teams, age group divisions, and a whole fan experience is supposed to invite 30,000 people there. You're going to be more limited. So I'm definitely giving them, a pass on that. It's not that we're grading CrossFit on how they've approached teams, but I love that they are thinking way outside of the box. I don't think everybody can do this. I don't think anybody except a team-only style competition can invite 7 days worth of people. You're talking Tour de France length individual competition. You're talking, hey, we're going to the NCAA championship and we're going to be on the road for the next 4 weeks kind of style. That just ain't going to happen everywhere. And until there's big money, I mean, I think we're a few seasons away before you're going to have 40 or 50 teams coming and saying, you know what, hey, I got a week or more, really, right? It's still cool.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
No, go ahead, Niki.
I was just going to say, I think it's worth remembering, too, that since this is Rich's home, it's his backyard, it's his playground and his gym, he finally gets to put together a competition that is reflective of everything he's ever wanted in a team competition. I mean, there is no better barometer for what an athlete needs, what an organizer needs, what a team competitor needs than Mr. Rich Froning. Like, he's the one who can say, finally, when it's mine, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I've wished for every time I've hit the competition floor. Like, all the experience that he has on every level is going to make it that type of experience for the athletes and the spectators and the organizers and everyone involved.
Last thoughts, Armen. What do you think?
I love the idea of Rich changing the game and turning a team competition that has always been on the back burner into the main focus. And I foresee a future that, if the sanction events continue being these big sort of qualifying stepping stones for the CrossFit Games, I don't think there's any reason why they wouldn't start essentially saying, hey, instead of just qualifying teams for the games, we're also going to send qualification teams to Rich's Mayhem event.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think all great points all around. I'm excited for the first big innovation in the competition format. Even our sanction events, they're doing a lot of new things, but they are still borrowing from either a games-esque environment or a regionals-esque environment. It's either games light or it's regionals plus. And that's cool. I think CrossFit set that standard, but there is room and there's opportunity inside of this big, giant global sport for so many more opportunities out there, testing new things. Hey, doesn't mean you have to keep doing it, but I'm really excited to watch it personally. I know I'll have a full week, a full 2 weeks, I think, for all of us, as we're going to go right from CrossFit Games coverage into Mayhem coverage. All right, well, that'll do us this week for The Bottom Line. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you guys again soon.